Hello everyone. This video we will be looking at fractions, decimals, and percents, and we'll identify equivalencies between those and the relationship between those. So here we go. So what are fractions, decimals, and percents? Well, they're different ways of representing part of a whole. So we could say that 50% of something, or 1 over 2, or 0.5 of something, these all mean the same thing. If you ate half the cake, you ate 50% of the cake, or 1 over 2, or 5 over 10, which would be an equivalent fraction, or 0.5. They're just expressed in different ways, but yet they mean the same thing. So we'll break down each of these. So first let's look at fractions. Well, fraction describes part of a whole when the whole is cut into equal parts. So as you can see, I'm going to stick with my cake example. We've got to cut in 4 pieces, okay? So we could say each piece is a fourth or a quarter. As a fraction, our denominator would represent the whole, as you can see right here, and we've taken 1 piece out of that 4 pieces of cake, alright? So this means that this red section would represent 3 out of 4, okay? So we can convert fractions into other forms, of course. As I said before, fractions, decimals, and percents are all interchangeable here. So let's look at equivalency. So a same value can be written in different forms. 1 over 2 is a fraction. If we divide the numerator by the denominator, okay, if I said 1 divided by 2, I'm going to get a decimal here. That's a 0.5. I can then change that 0.5 to a percent as well by multiplying by 100. And we'll look at that in further detail. So first, let's convert a fraction into a decimal. This one's, I find students find the most easiest to do, because all we have to do here is divide the top of the fraction, the numerator, by the bottom, the denominator. So a fraction like 1 over 2, we just say 1 divided by 2, and you can use your calculator for this, and we'll see that it works out in decimal form as 0.5. Alternatively, we can convert a fraction into a decimal over here. If I give you an example as 3 over 4, or 3/4, or 3/4, however you want to say that, all we do is divide 3, so we divide 3 by 4, so 3 divided by 4. Just think of as your fraction line here as a divide sign, okay? So numerator divided by denominator, and our answer is going to be 0.75. And converting decimal into a percentage. So to go from decimal to a percent, we simply multiply by 100. Okay? And this is how I calculate your marks for exams and stuff. If you did some multiple choice, for example, and you got 1 out of 10 questions correct, I would just say 1 divided by 10 equals 0.10, and then I would multiply that number by 100 and get 10%. But hopefully you're getting marks that are higher than 10%. Alrighty, let's try converting a decimal into a percent here. Again, you just simply multiply by 100. Okay, this 0.75, all this means is that if I took a multiple choice test that was 100 questions and I got 75 right, I could say represent it as a fraction, 75 over 100, and then break it down to lowest terms, 3 over 4. It doesn't matter. 75 divided by 100 is going to give me 0.75, as would 3 divided by 4. Once I get to decimal, all I do is multiply by 100 to get to a percent. Okay, so I'd get 75% on that test if that were a multiple choice test. Alrighty, and what's next here? Oh, okay, here we go. And you're going to see these type of questions in your workbook on page 102 to 104 this week. So this picture is a 100 chart, which represents 100%, right? Each one of these squares, if we've got 10 going across the bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 across the vertical side, 10 times 10 gives us 100, okay? So that's going to represent 100%. Each one of those is going to represent 1%. So how much is shaded? What's the percent? Well, I've got 10 this way, 10, 10, right? I get 10 in each vertical column. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I've got 75 out of 100 squares that are shaded. Now I can represent this as 0.75, okay, which I got from saying 75 divided by 100 equals 0.75, and then I can multiply this by 100 to get 75%. Like I said, you can always use a calculator for that as well. Okay, quick review here. So a fraction, 3 divided by 4. If I punched it in on my calculator, I'd get 0.75. To get to a percent, multiply by 100, and I get 75. Okay, 2 over 8, we can reduce that to 1 over 4. And if we think of 1 over 4, I always think of quarters and money. You know, if I've got 25 out of 100 or 1 out of 4, it means the same thing. And again, to get from decimals to percent, all I do is multiply by 100. 3 over 6 is a half. If you had a pie with 6 pieces, you ate 3 of them, you ate half. That's represented by 0.5 in decimal, and of course 50%, and so on and so on. 3 over 10 equals 30%, 2 over 5 equals 40%, and yeah, so fraction to a decimal, again, divide the numerator by the denominator, and decimal to percent, multiply the decimal by 100. Okay, I hope that helps you out. Please check out the other videos and do your workbook before taking the quiz, and good luck, and come to see me if you need any help. Cheers.